Hey, what's up everyone? Cedric85 here, and today I'm going to be talking about Episode 7 of Book 4 of Legend of Korra, titled Reunion. As you could probably figure from the title of this episode, this is where Team Avatar reunites. Well, most of Team Avatar anyway. And before Korra reunites with her team, she first gets to reunite with Tenzin and Bumi at the Air Temple Island. And of course, she explains what happened at Zaofu and how Kuvera pretty much took over the city and has Sue held captive in that. Which Tenzin responds by saying that he and Republic City are going to look into what they could possibly do to handle this Kuvera situation, but first and foremost, he was happy to see Korra back again, because after all, it's been 3 years since he got to see her, so actually, it was actually shorter than that because he did get to see her while he was recovering and that, but as far as everybody else, it's been around 3 years since they got to see the Avatar and that, and here, of course she's still wearing her earthbending clothing whenever she meets Tenzin and that, but whenever we see her again, when she actually arrives at Republic City, you see her in her water tribe garb again. So, and the first person that she happens to see is Asami. She's reading a magazine in a restaurant in Republic City and that, and Korra ends up going to her, and they end up embracing in that, and Asami makes a comment about her hair and how she likes it, and of course Korra tells her that she looks snazzy like she usually is and that, and after the two of them embrace and talk for a minute, they get to see Mako and that, and of course Korra and Mako have exchanged their pleasantries and that, which, of course, Mako, being the awkward person he is, but, yeah, does his thing, even though you can tell he appreciates seeing Korra again, and, of course we get to see Prince Wu again, which, I'm gonna be honest, I'm still not a fan of this character. I still think he's still a bit too one-dimensional for my taste, but, having said that, you know, for the role that he plays in here, being the spoiled rich kid that gets, given the kingship through blood and that, and you can pretty much anticipate that, but I really hope his character kind of develops a little bit more, which it kind of hinted that it did during the coronation episode, where, he realizes that people don't respect him because he pretty much takes things for granted, but yeah, hopefully his character develops a little bit more, because I'm still not a big fan of his, and especially in this episode, I thought he was being really irritating in that, especially when Korra, Asami, and Mako were trying to catch up on things, which, here, a big thing that ended up happening is that Asami ended up spilling the beans about Korra, her being the only person that Korra wrote to, which Mako got a little upset by this, and I do have to admit, if I was in his shoes, I'd be a little bit upset too, because after all, he is her friend too, and not just Asami. And I did kind of feel for Mako that Korra did kind of shut him out there, but at the same time, though, looking at Korra's perspective, she felt that she could say anything to Asami in that, but yeah, you can definitely tell where the three of them are getting real comfortable around each other again, and they're starting to act like a team again, and hopefully Mako will get to realize at one point why Korra did only write to Asami, and but yeah, naturally, the one person I haven't mentioned yet was Bolin, which I'll mention later on in this video, but, of course he wasn't there for obvious reasons, but, here, one thing during the reunion that did kind of surprise me a little bit was whenever Asami admitted to Korra that she's trying to reconcile with her father again, and she got to talk to him for the first time since he got incarcerated, during the whole equalist movement, and here Korra was asking her if it was a good thing to try to make up with her dad and that, and Asami got kind of frustrated, and she pretty much told Korra, well, you've been gone for 3 years, so why are you telling me what to do with my life and how my father and that, but yeah, that kind of caught me off guard until I realized, you know, maybe you know what, maybe she isn't mad at Korra for trying to butt into her personal life, but I think the only reason why she showed a little bit of aggression towards Korra is because of the fact that it has been 3 years since she, Mako, and Bolin got to see her, and you could definitely tell that she missed Korra, and she was a little bit upset that this was the first time in a long time that she got to talk with her, and but yeah, I don't think it's anything because later on in the episode you get to see Mako, Korra, and Asami and that team up and be cohesive unit again, which they end up being a team working as a team because come to find out there was some of Kuvera's guards and that nearby, and here Prince Wu ended up getting captured by them, so Korra and her gang pretty much had to team up and rescue him, which even from looking at this episode, you can tell where things really haven't changed a whole lot since Book 3. You can tell where they worked together much like they did in Book 3. I thought they actually started working as a team during the last book and that, and you can tell just by this episode that they're definitely working together, and it's only going to get stronger as the book progresses, I think, because as much as they worked together and how hard they fought and got Prince Wu back, which they eventually did, they did end up rescuing him, but that they're able to be this cohesive this quick after just meeting for the first time in 3 years, this is a promising sign for each of them in that, and it's especially good for Korra too because of whatever is going on with her and the well, every time she's in the Avatar state, she ends up having these inner demons, and having her friends around, I think, will certainly help in that department. And hopefully, the more that she's around Mako and Asami and that, the more she realizes, hey, I don't have to fight Kuvera and all the evil out there by myself, and then I do have my friends in that with me. So, hopefully, within the next 6 episodes, that we'll get to see some improvement, whereas Korra is able to use her avatar state with no repercussions in that, and she's able to be the avatar that she can. But yeah, a couple minutes ago I mentioned that Bolin wasn't part of the team, and I said it was obvious that he wasn't, and that's because him and Varrick are fugitives of the Earth Empire now, and whenever we see them in the beginning of the episode, you see Bolin carrying Varrick and that, and, which he carried Varrick for over 20 miles, and Varrick reminds him that's pretty much that's what Jolie did for him and that, in which Bolin pretty much told him that he's not Jolie, and you can tell where Varrick's kind of getting under Bolin's skin a little bit. But yeah, you can see where they're definitely defected from Kuvera and that, and they definitely want to get help as soon as they can and try to get back to Republic City and that, but here they end up getting captured and that, and here what end up happening is that they end up walking into traps set by a bunch of fugitive firebenders and waterbenders that are in the same part of the Earth Empire that Varrick and Bolin are at, and here they find out that Varrick and Bolin are at the same side as they are, and that Kuvera needs to be stopped. And I think it's really interesting because you can definitely tell where the Earth Empire is definitely becoming isolated from the rest of the world and that. You even get to see a fortified wall around the Earth Empire. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the Berlin Wall and that, and even the Great Wall of China. You know, you can definitely tell where it's fortified, and they're definitely keeping people and everything out, and they want to do everything their own way in that. And you definitely feel just by watching Varrick and Bolin and these fugitives that they are definitely behind enemy lines. And but yeah, it's you can definitely tell that Varrick and Bolin are pretty much trying to fight for their lives in that, and here they and the fugitives in that are working together in that and see what they can do, which Varrick and Bolin ended up reaching the shore, and that where they're able to get an escort out of there, and so they'd be able to be safe in that. But you can definitely tell, even from the last episode, how much more powerful the Earth Empire is becoming in that. And especially with them, with Zaofu being seized now, which pretty much the last city that hadn't been taken over before Kuvera showed up. So her stranglehold over the entire Earth Empire is really strong in that, and it's definitely something that not only any fugitives in that should be wary of, but as we could tell from Tenzin from early in the episode, that it's definitely something that the United Republic of Nations and Republic City are going to be keeping a close eye on, because Kuvera is definitely becoming more of a threat. And speaking of which, I just thought of it, Kuvera really isn't all that much different from Fire Lord Ozai from Avatar. And the reason why I say that is because, remember in this series finale of Avatar where Fire Lord Ozai was ready to burn the entire Earth Kingdom and reshape it in his image and form this big, massive empire? Well, that's pretty much what Kuvera is trying to do. Like, at the end of the last episode, she ordered her guards to start dismantling the metal domes that were around Zaofu and that, which you can already tell where she was starting to mold that city in her own image and that. But here, even more disturbing is that at the end of this episode, we get to see her army starting to cut down the big tree, the big banyan grove tree that is in the swamp. And the reason why they're cutting it down is to harvest energy from the spirit mines, and that in order to make a super weapon. And this puts me in mind of this is pretty much Kuvera's version of cleansing the Earth Empire and reshaping it into her own image, pretty much what Fire Lord Ozai was trying to do when Sozin's comet hit. And it's really disturbing too, because the swamp is pretty much the last untouched area in the Earth Empire. And seeing them starting to cut down that tree and that was really disheartening in that. And but yeah, and having said this, them being in the swamp cutting down that big tree, that goes to ask the question. The question needs to be posed rather. What about Toph? Because she's right there. Is she gonna realize this and do something about it or what? Because that's pretty much her sanctuary in that. So I'm not sure that's gonna cause a conflict. Well, it is gonna be cause a conflict, obviously, because of them cutting down the tree and that, and getting the spirit mind and that. Not only in the human world, but the spirit world, being connected with the human world. But I wonder if Toph's gonna show up again and do anything to try to stop Kuvera and her guards and that, and are we gonna see some of her abilities in that, since we got to see a taste of them whenever she was trying to get Korra to get out of her funk that she was in, but it's gonna be interesting to see whether or not Toph is gonna be able to do anything about it, or if she's gonna end up being captured much like Sue is, and that would be interesting. I'd hate to see Toph getting captured, but that'd be interesting if she does end up getting captured and reuniting with Sue and her children again and her husband and that. Hopefully there'll be a little bit of like a Beifong family reunion, which would be nice if it would have been under better circumstances. But that's just conjecture on my point. For all we know, Toph could hold off the Kuvera's army and prevent further damage and swamp it. Until we see future episodes, that's pretty much speculation on my part. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it I have to say for this episode. And another thing I just realized is we're officially at the halfway point of Book 4, which means there's 6 episodes before this, and there's going to be 6 episodes after this. So, but yeah, it's definitely getting better in that, and I just hope that the final 6 episodes are going to be awesome, and which I'm pretty sure they will be. But and to end this video on a bit of a personal note, this is my 200th video on my channel, which if you had asked me if I would have had 200, I would have said forget it, let alone 100. So I'm happy about that, and not only that, but to have my 200th episode on my 29th birthday today is extra special too, so Just wanted to say that and that. So, thank you for watching, and see you again next time.